Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sachidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayan Namaha. Samsara Sagare Magnam Dinam Mam Karunanidhe Karma Moha Gruhitangam Mam Uddhara Bhavarnavat. Srimad Bhagavatakyoyam Pratyaksha Krishna Evahi Svikrutosi Maya Natha Muktyartham Bhavasagare Manoratho Madiyoyam Safalas Sarvatha Tvaya Nirvignenaiva Kartavyah Dasoham Tava Keshava Shukarova Prabodhaknya Sarvashastra Visharada Etat Katha Prakashena Madajnanam Vinashaya Janmadyasya Yatonvayaditaratascha Artheshvabhignaswarat Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrusha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanan Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Yonta Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Shakti Dharaswadhamna Anyan Shahastacharana Shravana Tvagadin Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. समस्त देवताभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः मुनिभ्यो नमः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमः आचार्येभ्यो नमः भक्तेभ्यो नमः साधुभ्यो नमः साधकेभ्यो नमः तीर्थेभ्यो नमः क्षेत्रेभ्यो नमः नदी नदेभ्यो नमः शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. ओम श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नमः. नारदाय वेदव्यासाय सुखब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुने नमः. शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो नमः. वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो नमः. अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो नमः. आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः. मत्स्यादवतारेभ्यो नमः. प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमः. दक्षिणावति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः. आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः. आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः. माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. Till yesterday, in 22nd chapter, so many beautiful topics about what is world, what is mind, how the world is created, how with the mind uncontrolled the world is created, and we get bound in that. All that is said. In short, entire samsara is in the upadhi. Upadhi tadatma yuktya jiva, not in Paramatma, not in my real self. So to reach to that mukta sthiti of mind, I have to reject my identity with all these upadhi. What is strengthening my upadhis is my actions, reactions in the world. Actions to a great extent we can control by knowing what is dharma and following. But when the world in front of us, due to our prarabdha or the timings, inflicts on us so many variety of experiences, we are helpless victims. Not to react, we react. Therefore, at that place, if you become very careful, don't react, knowing your goal, and slowly, steadily, absolutely become as if benumbed only at the level of upadhis, non-reacting, then we can establish in yourself. That is what Bhagavan said. Listening to this, Uddhavji said, it is impossible except to the great bhaktas not to non-react in the world. How to do? So, as an answer to that question, first of all, agreeing to what exactly Uddhava said, everything, Bhagavan starts telling a beautiful story of a bhikshu. So, this entire chapter of 62 verses is most famously known as the Bhikshu Geetham, the song sung by the bhikshu. And it is such a complete picture of telling about how a jiva starts his life with all negativity, papa, dharma, and slowly he gets the results of that in this very life. And in this very life only, he reconciles, rethinks, understands where is he going wrong. Then he completely rectifies himself, and in one life only he discovers the Lord. Then goes back to the same place of where he started from, and those people never recognize him or never value him, continue to misunderstand, insult him like earlier, but he doesn't react. Then they realize. That is how, in like in a movie, how it starts with the problems to the hero created by villains. Slowly, how he starts out, and toward the end, Shubham, everything a good climax. Same way, this Bhikshu Geetam is a very good, not only as a story thesis, but a complete picture of our own life. It's like a biography of Bhikshu, but can be understood as our own autobiography. Very helpful, very sublime, very beautiful, and simple also in many cases, not complicated or deep, difficult like Mandukya Upanishad or our 22nd chapter. So let us try to understand this also. Then, after this, Bhikshu Geetam in chapter 23, then we will have then the Prakriti Purusha Viveka. Then we have the three gunas and their expression. Then another, a Raja Aila. His song also we listen, in which Viveka, Vairagya, Jnana are taught. It's called Aila Geetam. Then the Bhagavata related Kriya Yoga will be taught to us. Finally, the self and its nature is explained to us. And then ultimately the beautiful Bhagavata Dharmas are taught, after which the Uddhava goes to the Badrinath as told by the Lord. Then the Yaduvamsha fight with each other. They eliminate all of them. Finally, Lord Krishna also leaves this world and goes back to his Vaikuntha. This is how the remaining 9 chapters of this Skandha talk to us. Then in the 12th Skandha, we will see the Kali Yuga, who are the kings that come. Up to Ashoka Chakravarti, that will be explained. We can see that. Then the Kali Yuga dharmas and all that, and the greatness of Nama Mahima and Pralayams of 4 times Markandeya Charitra, all of them are contained in the last 12th Skandha. It's a huge task effort we took up last 2 years back, and it is going on. July 1st we started. So May, June, if those 2 months are over, it is 2 years. Good. Little bit at least we spent our time in the memory of Lord, in the study of Bhagavata. Rest he takes care. Why worry? Now let us enter into chapter 23, Sarga 11. Om Skandha 11. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimad Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandha Muktirhitva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavastitihi Atatrayo Vimshodhyayah Shri Shuka Uvacha Om Sa eva Masham Sita Uddhavena भागवतमुख्येन दाशार्हमुख्यः सभाजयन् भृत्यवचो मुकुन्दः तमावभाषे श्रवणीयवीर्यः श्रीभगवानुवाच बार्हस्पत्यसवैनात्र साधुर्वै दुर्जनेरितैः दुरुक्तैर्भिन्नमात्मानं यः समाधातुमीश्वरः न तथा तप्यते विद्धः पुमान् बाणैः सुमर्मगैः यथा तुदन्ति मर्मस्थाः ह्यसतां परुषेशवः कथयन्ति महत्पुण्यम् इतिहासमिहोद्धवा तमहं वर्णयिष्यामि निबोधसु समाहितः केनचित् भिक्षुणा गीतं परिभूतेन दुर्जनैः स्मरथा धृतियुक्तेन विपाकं निजकर्मणाम् अवन्तेषु द्विजः कश्चित् आसीत् आड्यतमः श्रिया वार्तावृत्तिः कदर्यस्तु कामी लुब्धोति कोपनः ज्ञातयोतिथयस्तस्य वाङ्मात्रेणापि नार्चिताः शून्यावसथ आत्मापि काले कामैरनर्चितः दुःशीलस्य कदर्यस्य द्रुह्यन्ते पुत्रबान्धवाः दारादुहितरो भृत्याः विषण्णानाचरन् प्रियं तस्यैवं यक्षवित्तस्य च्युतस्योभयलोकतः धर्मकामविहीनस्य शुक्रुदुः पञ्चभागिनः तदवध्यानमिश्रस्त पुण्यस्कन्धस्य भूरिदा अर्थोऽप्यगच्छत् निधनं बह्वायासपरिश्रमः ज्ञातयो जगृह किंचितो किंचित दस्य उद्धवा दैवतः कालतः किंचित ब्रह्मबन्धोरनृपार्थिमात् स एवं द्रविणे नष्टे धर्म काम विवर्जितः उपेक्षितश्च स्वजनैः चिन्ताम् आपदुरत्ययाम तस्यैवं ध्यायतो दीर्घं नष्टरायस्तपस्विनः खिद्यतो बाष्पकण्ठस्य निर्वेदः सुमहानभूत् स चाहेदमहो कष्टं वृथात्मा मेनुतापितः न धर्माय न कामाय यस्यार्थाया स ईदृशः प्रायेणार्थाः कदर्याणां न सुखाय कदाचन यः चात्मोपतापाय मृतस्य नरकाय च यशो यशस्विनां शुद्धं श्लाघ्याये गुणिनां गुणाः लोभः स्वल्पोऽपि तान् हन्ति श्वित्रो रूपमिवेप्सितम् अर्थस्य साधने सिद्धे उत्कर्षे रक्षणे व्यये नाशोपभोग आयासः त्रासश्चिन्ताभ्रमो नृणां स्तेयं हिंसा अनृतं दम्भः कामः क्रोधः स्मयो मदः भेदो वैरम् अविश्वासः संस्पर्धा व्यसनानि च एते पञ्चदशानर्था ह्यर्थमूला मता नृणां तस्मात् अनर्थमर्थाख्यं श्रेयोऽर्थे दूरतस्त्यजेद भिद्यन्ते भ्रातरोदाराः पितरः सुहृदस्तथा एका स्निग्धाः काकिनिना सद्यः सर्वे अरयः कृताः अर्थेनाल्पीयसाह्येते संरब्धा दीप्तमन्यवः त्यजन्त्याशु स्पृतो घ्नन्ति सहसोत्सृज्य सौहृदम् लब्ध्वा जन्मामरप्रार्थ्यं मानुष्यं तद्विजाग्र्यतां तदनादृत्य ये स्वार्थं घ्नन्ति यान्त्यशुभां गतिं स्वर्गापवर्गयोर्द्वारं प्राप्य लोकमिमं पुमान् द्रविणे को नु सज्जेत मर्त्योऽनर्थस्य धामने देवर्षि पितृभूतानि ज्ञातीन् बन्धूंश्च भागिनः असंविभज्य चात्मानं यक्षवित्तः पतत्यतः व्यर्थयार्थे हया वित्तं प्रमत्तस्य वयोबलं कुशलायेन सिद्ध्यन्ति जरटः किन्नु साधये कस्मात् संक्लिश्यते विद्वान् व्यर्थयार्थे हया सकृतो कस्यचित् मायया नूनं लोकोऽयं सुविमोहितः किं धनैर्धनदैर्वा किं कामैर्वा कामदैरुता मृत्युना ग्रस्यमानस्य कर्मभिर्वोत जन्मदैः नूनं मे भगवान् तुष्टः सर्वदेवमयो हरिः येन नीतो दशाम् एतां निर्वेदश्चात्मनः प्लवः सोऽहं कालावशेषेण शोषयिष्येऽङ्गमात्मनः अप्रमत्तोऽखिलस्य स्वार्थे यदि स्यात् सिद्ध आत्मने तत्र माम् अनुमोदेरन् देवास्त्रिभुवनेश्वराः मुहूर्तेन ब्रह्मलोकं खट्वाङ्गः समसाधयतो श्रीभगवानुवाच इत्यभिप्रेत्य मनसा यावन्त्यो द्विजसत्तमः उन्मुच्य हृदयग्रन्थीन् शान्तो भिक्षुरभून्मुनिः स चचार महीमेतां संयतात्मेन्द्रियानिलः भिक्षार्थं नगरग्रामान् असङ्गो लक्षितो विशतो तं वै प्रवयसं भिक्षुम् अवधूतमसज्जनाः दृष्ट्वा पर्यभवन् भद्र बह्वीभिः परिभूतिभिः केचित् त्रिवेणुं जगृह एके पात्रं कमण्डलं पीठं चैकेक्षसूत्रं च कन्थां चैराणि केचन प्रदाय च पुनस्तानि दर्शितान्याददुर्मुनेः अन्नं च भैक्ष्यसम्पन्नं भुञ्जानस्य सरित्तटे मूत्रयन्ति च पापिष्ठाः श्रीमन्त्यस्य च मूर्धने यतवाचं वाचयन्ति ताडयन्ति न वक्ति चेत् तर्जयन्त्यपरे वाग्भिः स्तेनोऽयमिति वादिनः बध्नन्ति रज्ज्वातं केचितो बध्यतामिते क्षिपन्ति केव जानन्तः केशधर्मध्वजशक्तः क्षीणवित्तः इमां वृत्तिम् अग्रहीत्वजनोज्झितः अहो एष महासारः धृतिमान् गिरिराडिव मौनेन साधयत्यर्थं भगवद्दृढनिश्चयः इत्येके विहसन्त्येनम् अन्ये दुर्वातयन्ति च तं बबन्धुर्निरुदुः यथा क्रीडनकन्द्विजम् एवं सद्भौतिकं दुःखं दैविकं दैहिकं च यत भोक्तव्यमात्मनोदिष्टं प्राप्तमबुध्यथ परिभूत इमां गाथाम् अगायत नराधमैः पातयद्भिः स्वधर्मस्थः धृतिमास्थाय सात्विकीं द्विजौवाच नारायण नायञ्जनो मे सुखदुःखहेतुः न देवतात्मा ग्रहकर्मकालाः मनः परं कारणमामनन्ति संसारचक्रं परिवर्तयेद्यतो मनोगुणान् वै सृजते बलीयः ततश्च कर्माणि विलक्षणानि शुक्लानि कृष्णान्यथ लोहितानि तेभ्यः सवर्णाः श्रुतयो भवन्ति अनीह आत्मा मनसा समीहता हिरण्मयो मत्सक उद्विचष्टे मनः स्वलिङ्गं परिगृह्य कामान् जुषन्निबद्धो गुणसङ्गतोऽसौ दानं स्वधर्मो नियमो यमश्च श्रुतं च कर्माणि च सद्व्रतानि सर्वे मनो निग्रहलक्षणान्ताः परो हि योगो मनसः समाधिः समाहितं यस्य मनः प्रशान्तं दानादिभिः किं वद तस्य कृत्यम् असंयतं यस्य मनो विनश्यतु दानादिभिश्चेदपरं किमेभिः मनोवशेन्ये हि अभवन् स्म देवाः मनश्च नान्यस्य वशं समेति भीष्मो हि देवः सहसह्यान् युञ्ज्यात् वशेतं स हि देवदेवः तं दुर्जयं शत्रुमसह्यमेकम् अरुन्तुदं तन्न विजित्य केचितो कुर्वन्त्य सद्विग्रहमत्र मर्त्यैः मित्राण्युदासेन रिपून् विमूढाः देहं मनोमात्रमिमं गृहीत्वा ममाहमित्यन्तधियो मनुष्याः एषोऽहमन्योऽहमिति भ्रमेण दुरन्तपारे तमसि भ्रमन्ते जनस्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनश्चात्र हि भौमयोस्तत् जिह्वां क्वचित् संदशति स्वदद्भिः तद्वेदनायां कथमाय कुप्येत दुःखस्य हेतुर्यदि देवतास्तु किमात्मनस्तत्र विकारयोस्तत् यदङ्गमङ्गेन निहन्यते क्वचित् क्रुध्येत कस्मै पुरुषस्वदेहा य आत्मा यदि स्यात् सुखदुःखहेतुः किमन्यतस्तत्र निजस्वभावः न ह्यात्मनोऽन्यत् यदि तन्मृषा स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मात् न सुखं न दुःखं ग्रहानिमित्तं सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनोजस्य जनस्य ते वै ग्रहैर्ग्रहस्यैव वदन्ति पीडां क्रुध्येत तस्मै पुरुषस्ततोऽन्यः कर्मास्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तद्धि जडा जडत्वे देहस्त्वचित् पुरुषोऽयं सुवर्णः क्रुध्येत कस्मै न हि कर्ममूलौ कालस्तु हेतुः सुखदुःखयोश्चेत् किमात्मनस्तत्र तदात्मकोऽसौ नाग्नेर्हि तापो न हिमस्य तत्स्यात् क्रुध्येत कस्मै न परस्य द्वन्द्वं न केनचित् क्वापि कथञ्चनास्य द्वन्द्वोपरागः परतः परस्य यथा महसंसृतिरूपिणः स्यात् एवं प्रबुद्धो न बिभेति भूतैः एतां स आस्थाय परात्मनिष्ठाम् अध्यासितां पूर्वतमैर्महर्षिभिः अहं तरिष्यामि दुरन्तपारं तमो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिसेवयैव श्रीभगवानुवाच निर्विद्य नष्टद्रविणो गतक्लमः प्रव्रज्य गाम्भर्यटमान इत्थं निराकृतो असद्भिरपि स्वधर्मात् अकम्पितो मुनिराह गाथां सुखदुःखप्रदो नान्यः पुरुषस्यात्मविभ्रमः मित्रोदासीनरिपवः संसारस्तमसः कृतः तस्मात् सर्वात्मना तात निगृहाण मनो धिया मय्यावेशितया युक्तः एतावान् योगसङ्ग्रहः य एतां भिक्षुणा गीतां ब्रह्मनिष्ठां समाहितः धारयन् श्रावयन् शृण्वन् द्वन्द्वैर्नैवाभिभूयते। इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे भिक्षुगीतं नाम त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। What a beautiful chapter. श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीभागवत शरणं मम, श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्रीसूत शरणं मम, श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम, श्रीव्यास शरणं मम, श्रीनारद शरणं मम, श्रीकुमार शरणं मम, श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणतिलकं यद्वैष्णवानान्धनं यस्मिन् पारमहंसमेव ममलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते। यत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यमाविष्कृतं तत्शृण्वन् प्रपठन् विचारणपरः भक्त्या विमुच्येन्नरः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति हन्यथा अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चुतकरे चित। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणमेकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिरीत्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। In this way, having saluted all our gurus, rishis, munis, Bhagavata acharyas, and through them the Guru Tattva, through them the Bhagavat Tattva, and requesting them, telling them that, O Lord, we are at such a low level of mind, intellect, so much of impurities in us. Please evolve our manabuddhi, remove all the impurity. May we have the bliss and blessedness of having your darshanam, having your anubhavam. May we see you and you alone in the world. May our further lives be spent only in service of you, as directed by you. Having said so, in the continuation of our study of Bhagavat Mahapuranam, where we started with the Mahatmyam, and then we took up the first, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 skandhas, where we know the Adhikari skandha, Sadhana skandha, Sargaha, Visargaha, Sthanam, Poshanam, Hoti, Manvantarani, Ishanukatha, Nirodha. With the qualification of study of all those skandhas, Bhagavan and Guru have kindly blessed us with this skandha where the theme is Mukti. And what is the definition of Mukti? Not millions of definitions, just one. Hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. About yourself, about the people around us, about the Jagat around us, about the Ishvara, whomever we have worshipped so far. All of them have anyatha rupas and all of them have their own swarupa. So Jagat Rupa is Nama Rupa and Jagat Swarupa is Parabrahma. And Bhagavan's Rupa is variety of Rupa and Nama, as you call Rama, Krishna, Vishwa, Vishnu, Vahatkaro. But his Swarupa is Parabrahma. And as I as a Jiva, my Rupa is, from the body standpoint, every moment it is changing. And depending on Prarabdha, every life I am getting different bodies. Along with that, my Rupa is, when at the mind level, the emotional, at the intellectual level, intelligent. These are so many rupas of mine, but my swarupa is again the same Brahma Tattva. So at all the three levels, when the rupas are transcended, and the one without second common single swarupa of all of them is known or experienced, then we are mukta from the Ishvara and his fear, from the Jagat and its attractions, from our own Jiva Bhava and its limitations. So that is the definition of mukti. Mukti hi hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavaste. And among all these three, little we do the upasana of the Lord and we say, please show us your real rupa. We also serve the world and try to detach from the world's rupa nama. More important than that too is rejecting our own panchakosha and reaching our own swarupa. If this is achieved, then other two also become better and easier. Without this inner self recognition, it becomes so tough to recognize the Paramatma beyond Rupanama in the Jagat and Parabrahma beyond this Ishwaratva or all that. Let us do all the three and more focus on the self. Okay. Now, in this Mukti Skandha also, every chapter with so many ways it was guiding us. If only we have dedicated our entire life only for Mukti through Bhagavad Shastra, the story would have been different by now. But whatever the justifications, they need to waste time, it had not happened. But we will not give up. We'll keep on pursuing till we get convinced about our goal is Bhagavan and our means is Bhagavata. And only through Bhagavata Adhyanam, Bhagavata Sadhana, we become Bhagavata. Till that happens, we keep on studying our Shastra. Now, in that, so many chapters, and the last one, the 22nd also, how many beautiful Vishayas Bhagavan explained. Toward the end of it, Bhagavan says, Arte hi avidyamanepi samsrutir na nivartate dhyayato vishayanasya swapne anarthagamo yatha. This most divine shloka, which we discussed yesterday, day before, ki even though the world is not at all there, yet you are not coming out of samsara. Just like snake is not there, still you have fear. The bhuta is not there, but still you have fear, seeing that bhuta in the sthanu. So to running behind the water, though it is not there in the mirage, trying to hide that shell which is taken as the silver by us. In so many ways, as we were deluded, here also in under delusion we are suffering the world of samsara, though there is no substantial cause to suffer for. Where from all that is generated because of dhyayato vishaya, because of vishaya dhyanam, which is in our hands. You can change the life from the Vishaya Dhyana to the Paramatma Dhyana. Slowly, the Artha is not there, it is known. We will not involve in that. Then some Sruti automatically gets Nivartita, will be removed from us. The samsara will go away from us. That's what Bhagavan says. Therefore, what is to be done? Two things only. Ma bhungshva vishayan asad indriyahi. With the indriyas which are not themselves are real, don't try to look at the world as bhoga, bhogya vastu, and don't try to indulge in the vastu for the bhoga. What is it doing? Making the indriyas as real, making I am as a jiva identified with the indriya, and making the world as real, and I run behind that. Immediately, all the rules, regulations of the world fall on us. Here, to propitiate indriya, so many of the papas are done by us. As a consequence, we are put from one day to the other, even narakas, even dukkhas. Therefore, what is the sadhana? इंद्रियों के द्वारा विषयों का भोग नहीं करना. That means what? Should we die without consuming anything, without listening anything? No. We have spent 25 minutes yesterday to explain that. Remove from the mind, the world is an enjoyable thing. In the world, take it as the Lord and serve it. And to sustain the life, which is required to know the truth, whatever required, take from the world, offering it to the Lord as prasada. So, what is therefore the conclusion of such a type of lifestyle? I am a sadhaka to know the Paramatma, and this deha, they are the upadhis given for me to travel in that journey, and for the sustenance of them, little of the thing from the world I am receiving as prasada from the Lord, rest toward the world, other than seva bhava, other than dharma nirati, other than bhagavad drushti. I have no other misunderstanding or relativity with the world. That sort of conviction is called by Lord here as tasmaduddha ma bhunksha vishayan asadindriyahi. Then what helps you to do all this consistently is atma agrahana nirvatam pasya vaikalpikam ramam. You just understand whatever vikalpa variety of the world are seen. And what is vikalpa is dvaita, me and the world other than me. The me and the world other than me, I am bhokta, world is bhogya, is Brahma. This in Mandika Upanishad language, in the beginning of the fourth and Alata Shanta Prakarana, it was talked as the Grahaka and the Grahana. At one place he said, and Grahaka and Grahya in other place. First Grahana, Grahaka he said, Grahaka, Grahana, then he said Grahaka, Grahya. This Grahaka, the perceiver, the Grahya, the world of perception. Then the Grahanama, this is only Brahman Nirmitam. Where from that came? Only one answer. Very clearly said here, Atma Agrahana Nirbhatam. All this is Bhatam means appearing, this Brahma, the Brahma of the perceiver and perceived, Atma Agrahana, inability to discover or not reaching and discovering our own, the one without second self. Everywhere this is the case. Sajju Agrahana Nirbhatam Sarpam. In the same way, Shuktika Agrahana Nirbhatam Rajatam. Usara Bhumi Agrahana Nirbhatam Tatra Jalam. Sarvatra, same example. Then the Mrudu Agrahana Nirbhatam Gatakutyadi. Same way, the Suvarna Agrahana Nirbhatam Anekani Avaranani. Same way, Paramatma Agrahana Nirbhatam Vaikalpikam Brahmam. Very clear. This Vaikalpika Brahma will go on continuing to create the Bhokta in us, make us know the world as Bhogya Vastu, make us indulge in that till we don't discover the self. Therefore, with the goal of discovering the self, with whatever the ability, capacity and convenience, we keep the things away and pursue the self. Any doubt, any thought, any tension, anything comes, एक ही बात कहना, पहले भगवान को जानने दो, फिर हम आपके पास आएंगे. The surprise is what? When you discover the Parama Atma in us, all this Bhokta Bhava of the Jiva and Bhogyata about the Jagat disappears. Then everything I alone is found. Then the Vaikalpikam Brahma. Then there is no samsara. But where to start from? Everywhere it is what is said. What is that? Uddhava ma bhunksha vishayan asadindriyahi. Keep on withdrawing from the world. Other than our dharma, our vyavahara, sustenance. The world should not be looked into at all. That's how 3 times a day or 2 times a day or once a day, go into the world, get bhiksha, eat. The entire day of the time is only spent in knowing the self. That you do by, Bhakti Yoga and Sharanagati of the Lord. That you do it by Ashtanga Yoga of transcending all the Prakriti. Do you do it by the Jnana Yoga of Atma Anatma Viveka? Kaise bhi karo, but discover the Atma in you. Atmanishto Bhavatvam. First, and you have started listening Shastra from 2 years. 2000 years you may listen from me or anybody. The nutshell of all of that is only one. The summary of that, I have to discover the Atma Paramatma. The Atma in me, the Paramatma in the Jagat, and Atma Paramatma are one. That should be established. If that conviction doesn't come, if that is not set as a goal, we have not sufficiently heard Shastra, or we have not correctly heard the Shastra, or the one who taught us has not properly taught. When the conviction comes, then only those thoughts, those actions, those sadhanas we do, which remove the anatmatva in us, which establish the atmanubhava in us. That clarity we should have. So this shloka, that's so. These two, arteha vidyamanepi samsutirna nivartate, dhyaito vishayanasya swapne anarthagamo yatha tasmad uddhava mahabhungsho vishayanasad atma agrana nirbhatam ashavaikalpikam brahma. Along with these two conscious positive sadhanas from our side. Okay. First one is the theory understood, second is the practical is done. But we are not alone in this world. The whole world is there, and lot of things we have done in the past, they have to come in the form of result to us as prarabdha. What to do at that time? That is a whole list Bhagavan gave. In this way, the world will trouble you. Okay. The 3 things. I go to the world because of my desires. That anyway reduced. World comes to me with all the temptations. That also I rejected. Okay. I go to the world with the desires. That is rejected because my desire is only to know the self. World comes to me with a temptation, desire. That also I rejected because that's not my goal. It will make me identified with the Jiva Bhava, then samsara will not go. There's a third aspect also. The Hisab Kitab of these two are the Punyafal. Now the Hisab Kitab of all the Papa. Now the whole world will trouble you, scorcher you, and create so many types of dukkha. They give inflictions of all sorts. You can never ask, is it justifiable or not, should it deserve or not, why should they do? कोई सवाल का जवाब मिलेगा नहीं, you will definitely get. Every one of us will have. In small quantity, big quantity, short time or more time, everyone is given one or the other punishments. One or the other, this type of result. Please remember it. When we are in Deha, we have done Papa Punya, Sama, then only we are in human Deha. Along with the Sukha of the Punya Karma done, Dukkha of the Papa also comes to us. At that time, what is to be done is the next two shlokas where Bhagavan said, never ever react. Shreyas kamaha krutsragataha atmana atmanam uddharetu. If you desire the discovery of the self, by non-reaction to all these situations, detaching from them, focus more only on the self. Now, the world or the Maya or the mind, whatever you say, those when they were binding us to Deha Jiva Bhava through the temptations in the beginning, now they try to bind us with inflicting all this. If we there react with the desires, there also we are lost. If we react here also by fighting with the world, here also we have lost the game. There also we have to withstand ourselves, not allow the desire to overpower. Here also withstand ourselves and not allow overpowering by the kama, krodha. So यहाँ कामना का कांकर, यहाँ क्रोध का कांकर. So huge list of the things he gave, and all of us might have gone at least through some of them, and they will keep on coming throughout life. Even after Jivan Mukti, they come, but they're all prarabdha to the Deha Adi. I will not attach. But to become Jivan Mukta, I have to know the self. To know the self, I should withdraw myself from everything. One of the very important is these type of infliction they come. When they come. You know, when Adi Shankara, he was also insulted by people. भगवान कृष्ण, he was also insulted. In fact, दुर्योधन आदि तो उनको बांधने की कोशिश की. The Shishupal has abused him for 108 times. Jarasandha attacked 7 times, 17 times. Then Paundraka Vasudeva has given so many gali to Krishna and said, give up all Shankachakra Gada. I am real Vasudeva, he said. You understand? Please remember, those come. They come because of prarabdha. But we need not react. React means we are pulled to the level of jiva and deha. So all the three. Don't react to the inflictions. Don't indulge in the world because of your own desires. Don't respond to the world also when the world tempts. In this only way, we can pull our indriyas entering into the objects of the world. After that only, we can use our inner equipment single-pointedly, undisturbedly toward the discovery of the Atma. Only in the discovery of the Atma, all the Brahma of the Vaikalpa goes, then no more samsara thereafter. This is what Bhagavan said. Now for Uddhava, everything appeared to be easy so far. The moment when the Lord said that you should not react to whatever the people say, it was becoming impossible to him. Because he's Kshatriya and always to try to protect self-respect. We don't allow anybody just like to scold us. You know, we are living a dharmic life. We are doing all right. How can we not react when others unnecessarily trouble us? This is the Laukika Vyavahar. But there are two more understandings, you know. One is what, even though you are righteous, dharmic, honest, good in this life, two more things are there. One, you might have done the papa in the past, therefore definitely you go through them. You have to get them. You will get them. Second is what? You are a sadhaka. The test for sadhaka is only in this place. Then how do you react to all these arts? If you have reacted, you have become jiva. Why? Because to the Atma, none of these things belong. None of these things reach. If you are that, or if you want to be that, you can't afford to justify. You can't afford to react and justify it. This is how the Bhagavan was saying. Uddhavji could not understand. He was feeling it is so impossible. लोगों का प्यार हम लेते हुए एंजॉय करेंगे जिंदगी भर, उसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं होती है. बट लोगों का गुस्सा, दुख, इंसल्ट छोटा थोड़ा भी हो, थ्रू आउट लाइफ वी रिमेंबर, एंड एवरी टाइम वी रिमेंबर वी सफर इट. We try to take revenges, reactions, at every level. A sadhu looking like person, many of such reactions he might have avoided. But one or two will be there in him. Maybe the other sadhu like him might have insulted him or his own disciple has cheated. उनके उस लेवल के temptations होते हैं react करने के लिए. He may not have problems like us. Failure in the business, cheated by the partner. Such things a sadhu may not have. But he is also cheated by the other Swami or even disciple. Is it not? For reason or no reason, any reason, every guru will be troubled by his disciple. Disciples are the prarabdha of the guru. And the final trouble to the guru from the disciple is not doing sadhana. And why not doing sadhana is trouble to the guru? Because he has so much love for the disciple. He wants the disciple to learn and grow, but that fellow is not doing, so he suffers. That's the prarabdha of the guru. And so many miracles happen in this world. Miracle means nothing is miracle actually. Because of this, the guru left the disciple or disciple left the guru. Immediately, guru become peaceful and the disciple realizes self also. You can see that Yagnavalkya and all those stories. Very interesting, they're all. We'll see in Taittiriya Upanishad. So many things are there in this world too. Very many, millions of things are happening. You keep on listening to them, knowing them, and keep on learning from them. That's how we expand. The more we expand, the more we become convinced about the truth. I also convinced about the untruth of the world. Then we become strong enough not to react, not to miss our meditation and knowing the self. This is how it is. So Uddhav ji asked, महाराज ये तो आपके परम भक्त जो आपके अलावा और कुछ नहीं देखते दुनिया में, they may be able to not react. So you may be remembering the example of Prahlad and all. To all other ordinary people, it is impossible. We see, it seems like. Can you explain to us the technique, if at all it can be done? Then Bhagavan Krishna thought from last two chapters, theory, I am teaching him. Now let me teach him story, through the story something. So thus, in this chapter 23, Bhagavan takes that Bhikshu Gita. And I tell you, the entire Bhikshu Gita is absolutely our own story, right from beginning till the end. And in this, the Guru, that Bhikshu, when people were inflicting all insults on him, how beautifully he becomes introverted and contemplates and thinks, what are the causes of this type of problem coming to me? And the discovery which has that it is because of the mana and I should not live the life at the level of mana is such a wonderful discussion. And the story itself, you can relate to it 100% right from the beginning. So this Bhikshu Gita of 62 chapters is a journey of a Brahmana, though he is born as Brahmana but did not stick to the Brahmana vritti and Brahmana gunas were never there. Obviously was kicked and insulted everyone. Then he could not withstand to that. Then he started doing contemplation. Then he said, this is not my pursuit. Now the Lord is pursued. He pursued and he discovered and en route his discovery of self. Wherever he was going, people know about him anyway, what negativities he has done. तो wherever he was going, he was being insulted. Because तब तक छप चुका है पूरे पेपरों में कि ये ब्राह्मण ऐसा है वैसा है करके. Now, people never knew that he changed, but he changed from within. The crux of the story, the highlight of the story, the important part of the story is the world never recognized he has changed, but he changed himself. Now, is it not our own story? And this is story of a person from the lowest level to the highest level in one lifespan. He has achieved in one life. Many of us need 10 lives, 20 lives. But this is what we have to achieve. The greatest misfortune to him as well as the effort of him is what? One life only, he did mistakes and he got the insults of that. From that he understood and reconciled and he changed lifestyle. He reached the truth. Even after reaching the truth, he was tested by people's misbehavior with him. He was passed in that. For us, in one life we commit mistakes, in second life we go through the dukkha, in third life we get the vairagya, in the fourth life we go to Guru and surrender and learn, in fifth life we start doing sadhana, in sixth, seventh, eighth we reach to meditation, in the ninth level we sit for meditation, in the 10th life mukti. Is it not? He concised everything in one life and khatam. So he says that's the possibility. And while telling so, all the answers to Uddhavji's prashnas were given. भगवान डिड नॉट से नहीं तुम्हें करना है, तुम कर सकते हो, करना ही चाहिए, तुम मेरे डिसाइपल हो, मेरे सखा हो, ऐसे कैसे तुम कहते हो कि नहीं हो पाएगा करके. All this discussion or fighting or scolding or anything, Bhagavan Krishna did not do. He just told the story. And Uddhava is matured by now, listening to 11 skandha, so many chapters. He said, Maharaj understood. Same is with us, for us. Then if you ask me any one chapter of Bhagavata which can be studied every day, this is this Bhikshu Gita. It is such a compendium, or you can say the comprehensive, complete guidelines for everyone from what they are to what they are now at to what they have to reach to. अब मैं कहाँ हूँ से कहाँ जाना है के लिए सारा समाचार देने वाला ये है और कहानी भी मजेदार है एंड इट टेल्स अबाउट अस ओनली. With this introduction, let us see few slokas today and keep on studying. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimad Bhagavata Puranam Ekadasha Skandha Muktiritvanyatha Rupam Sarupena Vyavastitihi Atha Trayovimshodhyayah Sri Shukavacha. Shukadevji is answering to Parikshitji's question. Sri Shukavacha. What he was telling, the interaction between Bhagavan Krishna and Uddhava. That's what is the 11th skandha completely about. What he says, beautifully see, follow that. Quickly we will see, but enjoy this. Sa evam ashamsita uddhavena saha sakaha dasharha mukyaha. In the Dasarha Vamsha, the greatest among them, the Lord Krishna, Uddhavena evam ashamsitaha. When he was told by Uddhava like this, when he was asked by Uddhava like this, when he was requested by Uddhava like this, when he was explained about the impossibility by Uddhava like this. Sa evam ashamsitaha dasharha mukhya. By whom? Bhagavata mukhyena. So here the dasharha mukhya is adjective to Krishna, Bhagavata mukhya is the adjective to Visheshan to Uddhavaji. Bhagavata mukhyena. Now, word is so tasty, no? What is Bhagavata Mukhya? One meaning is, in the entire Bhagavata Shastra, one of the Mukhya character, therefore Bhagavata Mukhya. Second is what? The one who belongs to Bhagavan is Bhagavata. Is it not? So, that way, those who belong to the Bhagavan, among them Mukhya. The belonging to Bhagavan is both sides. The Bhakta himself feeling thoroughly that I belong to Bhagavan, none of my individuality I have. That is called Bhagavata Mukhya. Bhagavata feeling that मैं मेरा नहीं हूं, मैं उनका हूं. The total dasya bhava, total saranagati. How beautiful that would be if we can achieve it. The stupid ego and the intellect, mind, senses, they stop us, but if they can be answered somehow, anyhow, everyhow, and we reach to that state of, oh Lord, मैं आपका हूं. Is it not? Bhagavata Mukhya is मैं आपका हूं, मैं नामक. Why it happened? Because of so much of analysis that any of the upadhis with which I am living, all of them are given by him, maintained by him. And to maintain these upadhis, whatever the world is there, all of that Bhagavan ने दिया है. मेरा नामक चीज कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. और at the sadhana level होने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. क्यों? Offer yourself to him, he rectifies. Is it not? And ultimately at the Siddhi Sthayi, what is the Siddhi? When I know all I belong to him. With these all understandings of every level, the Bhagavata has become Bhagavata. Means, Bhagavata means what? Belonging to Bhagavan. Like Pandava means belonging to Pandu. Dhartarashtra means belonging to Dhritarashtra. Vasudeva means belonging to Vasudeva. You understand? This is how in Sanskrit the belongingness is said like that. Like Dasharathi, Dasharatha Putra. Ravani, Ravana Putra. That is Indrajit ka naam. Kaurava means Kuru Sambandhi. Belonging to Kuru Vamsha. Kakutstha, Kakustha Vamsha. Varshneya, Vrishni Vamshastha. In the same way, Bhagavata means Bhagavat Sambandha. So one is this. Bhagavata Mukhya means he has decided, मैं नामा कुछ नहीं हूँ, मैंने उनको अर्पण कर दी. No, but this is done half only ना. हम अपने तरफ से किए. Did the Bhagavan also accept us? There comes the real challenge. Challenge, there's nothing for us to do anyway. There, when the Bhagavan also considers that he is a Mukhya Bhagavata, means I have accepted him that he belongs to me. The second one is more difficult than the first. First also very difficult, that I have to pull myself from all my relativity and tell that I don't belong to anything or being. I don't even belong to myself. I belong only to the God. To achieve this only so many. After that, the Bhagavan Janch Pagtal karke hamara test karke, seeing all our credentials and all, then saying, Ha beta, tum mere ho. When Bhagavan accepts, then we have become Bhagavata from this side also. In Uddhava's case, it is there. A proof is hard. So patiently, Bhagavan is giving so much of time and knowledge to Uddhava. Will he give it to anyone? There to Arjuna, here to Uddhava. Give only because he has accepted them fully that you belong to me. That's how your attitude was. Now, when you belong to me, like a car belongs to me, it is my job to maintain it. Its house belongs to me. It's my job to keep clean it. If the people belong to me, it's my job to take care of them. Children belong to me, my children. So I am supposed to take care of their requirements. Don't you say? So Bhagavan understood, accepted Uddhava that you belong to me. Therefore, he is preparing him, repairing through all this jnanam. So the jnana giving by Bhagavan to Uddhava itself is a proof that Bhagavan has accepted Uddhava as Bhagavata Pradhana. Okay, Bhagavata Mukhya. Okay, 3-4 अर्थ हो गए. Then the one more thing is what भागवत मुख्य ना कि भगवत प्राप्ति के अलावा जिनके जीवन में दूसरा कोई लक्ष्य नहीं है. That's called भागवत मुख्य. Surrendering to Lord is one thing. Even after surrendering to the Lord, you may ask this or that. If there something is given, even take it. Bhagavata Mukhya is being one with the Lord or knowing the Lord alone is Mukhya Lakshya. And that is there in very much Uddhava. Therefore, Bhagavan is not telling Uddhava anything else. Is it not? That do this punya, that karma, and I'll give you the swarga, I'll give you the Yamapada, I'll make you Indra, I'll make you Brahmadeva. कुछ भी नहीं दे रहे भगवान, क्योंकि उद्धव को कुछ नहीं चाहिए. उद्धव जी को क्या चाहिए? भगवान ही चाहिए. इसलिए भगवान को कैसे पाना है, वही नॉलेज इज गोइंग ऑन गिविंग. These are the very many meanings behind the word Bhagavata Mukhyena. Now, from all that learning, we have to know that we can also become like that. Rather, we should become like Uddhava. Then the Bhagavata become meaningful to us and we become Bhagavata, perhaps even Bhagavata Mukhya. What is Bhagavata Mukhya of Uddhava ji? To how many people he taught Bhagavata later on about Paramatma Tattva? As I told you, to all the Krishna Patnis and also to Parikshit, much before Shukadev ji taught it, and also to this Vajranabha, it is Uddhava ji who revealed to them the Krishna Tattva. In the Skanda Purana, Mahabhagavata Purana Mahatmya, we will see that portion. Secondly, in Badrinath, it is Uddhava ji who is worshipped for 6 months, in the winter time, as if he is Bhagavan himself. और इससे ज़्यादा क्या प्रूफ चाहिए हमको कि he has attained that and he gave to the entire world nothing but the jnana about Bhagavan only. So, in this way, Bhagavata Mukhyena Dasharha Mukhyaha Evam Ashamsitaha Uddhavena. See, when you really go into the meaning of the words and through the meaning into the feeling, we will get an idea. Oh, this is what I must change myself to become too. That conviction, that's the only one which is worthwhile to achieve, which is worthwhile to conceive as goal. And in the effort of that only, we come away from the self-created worldly samasyas. So when you come to class this 1 year, you have withdrawn yourself from self-created samasyas. तो यहाँ नहीं है तो क्या करते नहीं पता, क्या सोचते नहीं पता, कौन से मन में वासनाएं बनते नहीं पता, कौन सा पाप करते नहीं पता. All chances are there. Is it not? And when you come to the class, you have deliberately avoided. This is at a very gross level. But now make it continuous that your heart is only longing for the Lord. Your all indriyas antakarana are only seeking the Lord and doing all those which will reach us to the Lord. Where do you spare yourself for the world or the mind or the Maya or the people to attack? No chance. Therefore, we'll never be bound. This is what we have to get into our system. Jitna jaldi ho sake utna. After that, prove it. Prove that understanding by whole day involving only in the Swadhyaya Sadhana. Swadhyaya Sadhana. मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए इस दुनिया में. अब जो भी मिला तो देख रहे हो, जिनको जो मिला है, they are still suffering. Is it not? Learn both the Viveka, Vairagya from the people who got everything yet suffering. Then the Jignasa and pursuit of Atmagnana from the Siddha Purushas who are reveling in that bliss. These people have everything yet nothing because they are miserable. These people have nothing but got everything because they are in bliss. Therefore, learn from them the Vyatirekata and learn from them the Anvayata. So both people are always there in front of for the world. The Preyo Margis are there, the Shreyo Margis are there. Prayer Marg will tempt us to fall. We have to learn from them and don't do that. Shreya Marg is inspire us to lift us. Therefore, keep on getting inspiration from them. Both are in front. हमको दोनों को देखना है, आपको क्या चाहिए देखना है, फिर वो परसू. But even though seeing both, yet one decides to go in the Preyo Marga, Preyo Mando, Yogakshema, Drunite, न सांप्रदाय प्रतिवादी भाला मीन्स अब ये बच्चा है, इसको और 1000 जन्म लगेंगे और थोड़ा मैच्योर होने के लिए. अब जाओ, डू यू लाइक फील लाइक दैट योरसेल्फ with our own personal purushartha samarthya, है ना? By doing some viveka vichara, by withdrawing from the worldliness and wanting to know the truth. Should we prove to the gurus or not that this fellow is matured? So let us give them the Upanishad Jnanam, the Bhagavata Jnanam, not only outside but also seated inside, pulling that jiva from going outside into one's own self. ऐसे लगना चाहिए कि नहीं गुरु को, या गुरु लोग समझे कि इसको हमने कोशिश की, बड़े पका हुआ नहीं, कच्चा है, छोड़ उसको जाने दे. देखो पका हुआ फल होता है, काट के खा लेते हैं, कच्चा हुआ है तो फेंक देते हैं और पकने दो. इधर काट के खाना मतलब द जीवा भावा एवरीथिंग इज काट के, आनंद इज गिवन टू अस इफ यू आर द फ्रक्टिफाइड फ्रूट इन द आईज ऑफ द गुरुस. I'm telling, when you feel these sentences little pausingly, Bhagavata Mukhya is Uddhava's name. Shukdev ji saying himself is a Brahmagnani Bhagavata. See, iti evam ashamsita Uddhavena Bhagavata Mukhyena Dashara Mukhya. Then why Swami you spend so much of time to explain this? Because there we can see the response of the Lord to this type of attitude of Uddhava. Sabhajayan. Sabhajayan means बहुत शाहभाषी कहते हुए. That शाहभाष word came from Sabhajayan. Means appreciating, acknowledging, then even blinking the eyes. Means seeing Uddhava's attitude, seriousness, sincerity, wanting to learn, wanting to do, wanting to change. Bhagavan appreciated all that attitude of him. That's called as Sabhajayan. And at that time, while expressing all these doubts or requests, how the Uddhava was appearing for the Lord? Bhrutya Vachaha. He was like a Bhrutya. Bhru means the one who has left all his bhara to the Paramatma or Guru and total surrender also. Dasoham. Dasa se we ek niche ka step hai Bhrutya. So from bottom you come, it is Bhrutya, it is Dasa, then it is Sevaka, then it is called Bhakta, then it is called Sakha, then it is called Mitra. Mitra is the grossest. Sakha is little higher. Bhakta is little more. Bhakta with Sevaka is greater. Bhakta Sevaka with Dasya Bhava is greater. उससे भी बढ़िया है भृत्य भाव, अल्टीमेट. इन दैट भृत्य भाव आई नामक चीज कोई उनसे अलग नहीं है. मतलब क्या है? आई हैव नो thinking about me. Even if food also, when the Bhagavan says I will eat, or Guru, or whomever we have become Bhrutya took, that much we totally surrender to him. You understand? Bhrutyavat, Vyasa. So, Bhrutyavacha Sabhajayan means Lord was very pleased with his Uddhava, the disciple, the Bhakta, the Bhrutya, the Sakha, ityadi, Mukundaha. That's why the word uses Mukunda. Mukunda means Muktim Dadati. The one who is the giver of the Mukti through the Jnanam, through only a touch also. Such Lord, Tam Abhabhashe. To that Uddhava, the Bhrutya, who is Bhagavata Mukhya, Bhagavan started speaking. And what is Lord's name here? Another adjective to the Lord, Viryaha. Means what? The Lord whose Virya is worthy of listening, who is Saundarya is worthy of listening or looking at, whose Divya Sadgunas are worthy of knowing, who is Krupa, Karuna towards the Bhaktas are worthy of knowing, and whose attitude towards the Bhaktas to give liberation is worthy of knowing, and who is whose Swarupa and Jnanam is worthy of knowing. That's what. Knowing means Shravaniya. जिनके वीर्य सबको सुनने का योग्य है. वीर्य का अर्थ हमने 10 बातें बताई. वीर्य मीन्स वी टॉक्ड ऑल. His birth, his beauty, his gunas, his leelas, his swarupa, his karuna kripa toward the bhaktas, ये सब श्रवण वीर्य है उनका. उसका हम श्रवण करना है, इसलिए वो श्रवणीय वीर्य. Such श्रवणीय वीर्य Lord, having heard to the vachana of the Bhrutya, doing Sabhajayanam to it, him Abhavashe exhaustively spoke. Why? Because that Bhagavata Mukhya with so much humbleness surrendered to the Lord. See? स एवम् आशंसित उद्धवेन भागवत मुख्येन दाशार्ह मुख्यः स भाजयन् भृत्यवचः मुकुन्दः तम आबभाषे श्रवणीय वीर्यः. कभी कभी ना कुछ श्लोक ना छोड़ने को मन नहीं होता. Let us revel only in that. So today we understood the glory of the Lord. We have understood the glory of Uddhava. We have understood mutual relation. Uddhava's surrender and Vrutyava to Krishna. Krishna's kindness, compassion to Uddhava, and what Uddhava asked and how the Lord taught him. तो ये सब मिलकर ही ये जीवन का सार रस बनता है. They all have to come to us. We should also become Vritya to Gurudev or our Lord, our Guru, whoever he may be. Please him so much that he also wants to hold on to us and guide us and bless us. See that he lifts us away from this samsara sagar. इसके लिए हमें जीना है और इसी को पाने के प्रयत्न में हमें आगे बढ़ते जाना है. देखो. Then as a corollary, one or two things we can say. No more now pleasing the world, only the Lord. No more by listening to the world, onto the Lord. No more taking the world as the goal, only the God. And to the world, let us be. To the Lord, we totally surrender in such a way that He puts all His efforts to lift us. Feel what is said inside right now. I am giving you 10 seconds time. I am like Uddhava, Bhrutya to the Lord, trying my best to become the Bhagavata Mukhya and seeking the Lord's attention, His kindness, His compassion, His guidance, His blessings, so that all questions, doubts from within get dispelled. And I follow what Lord teaches, and I reach to the being what the Lord expects from me. Tathastu. Now, what Bhagavan answered, let us see. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. Now, I tell you, Lord loves Uddhava so much. The first sloka mein, what Uddhava said, without any condition or improvement or alteration or addition or deletion, what Uddhava said, 100% Bhagavan accepted as it is. I was surprised to see this. Bhagavan ne, like in Gita, Arjuna ko, like when Arjuna said it is impossible to control the mind like a wind. He said, Asamshaya Mahabaho, but later on said, Abhyasane tu kaunteya vairagena gruhyat. But here he is fully accepting what Uddhava says. He did not alter it or edit it. That was enough for Uddhava to know that Bhagavan accepted me means he is asking me to understand what is his point without telling. And he is going to elaborate all that throughout the chapter. Now what is the shloka? Barhaspatya. Oh, Barhaspatya, it's an adjective, it's a name of Uddhava, Bhagavan is addressing him, vocative. Barhaspatya means Brahaspati Shishya. Now, first shloka when it was, Uddhava was introduced in Bhagavata, it was this only. Vrishni Vamshodbhava, Brahaspati Shishya Sakshat, Uddhava Buddhisattamaha. Krishnasya Daita Sakha, Uddhava Buddhisattamaha, Brahaspate Sakshat Shishyaha. This is how Uddhava was introduced, and after that he was sent by Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavana to give his message to all the Gopikas. Oh, 1 year back we saw. कल का ही हमको नहीं दिखता है. वृष्णीनां प्रवरो मंत्रिः उद्धवो बुद्धिसत्तमः देन साक्षात् बृहस्पतेः शिष्यः. वृष्णीनां प्रवरो मंत्रिः. 3 parts I remembered. 1 line I forgot. 1 part. Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri, Brahaspate Shikshaha, Uddhavaha Buddhisatama. To him Bhagavan said. Yaad aa gaya. Same thing. Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri, Krishnasya Daitas Sakha, Brahaspate Shishyaha Sakshat, Uddhavo Sakshat Brahaspate Shishyaha, Uddhavo Buddhisatamaha. है ना, जो ओल्ड होते ही सारे जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट पुराना होने के बाद वो काम करना बंद करता है. एवरीबॉडी इज लाइक दैट. नाउ वी हैव अंडरस्टूड. तो बारहस्पत्य देवताओं के गुरु बृहस्पति ही इज द गुरु ऑफ उद्धव आल्सो. वेर ही लर्न व्हाट ही लर्न इट इज नॉट सेड एनीवेयर, But somewhere he might have met her. You are the disciple of Brahaspati only directly. How can you forget all that? How can you feel weak that it is impossible, etc.? Like that, you can say. But Bhagavan is not denying what Uddhava said. Hey Brahaspatya, savai na atra sadurvai. Durjaneri duruktai vinamatmanama ya samak adatum ishvaraha. I am 100% accepting what you say. Literal meaning I am telling now, again word by word I will say. There is no sadhu in the entire world who, when his heart is broken into pieces by the words of the people, that he could control himself. There is nobody who had not reacted to the inflictions caused by others on this earth. Bhagavan says, accepting. He says, Savai na atra sadhu vai. Vai means indeed, indeed. In fact, what you said is right. There is no sadhu purusha in the whole universe. Who is he? Durjana iritaihi duriktaihi bhinnam atmanam. The one whose heart is broken because the bad words spoken by the bad people. Yaha samadhatum ishvaraha. Who is Ishvara? Who is powerful enough to balance himself. सम्यक आधातु मीन्स अपने आप को बचाना, कंट्रोल करना, रिएक्ट नहीं करना, ऐसा सामर्थ्य रखने वाले को ईश्वर कहते हैं. ऐसा कोई साधु पैदा ही नहीं हुआ, अभी भी नहीं, आगे भी नहीं होंगे, सिवाय भगवान. बट द क्वेश्चन इज ओनली हाउ लॉन्ग ही कंटिन्यूड, हाउ मच, टू मच ही रिएक्टेड. दैट डिसाइड्स हिज ग्रेडेशन, हिज ग्रेटनेस. मीन्स व्हाट? He might have not reacted in giving Shrapa like Durvasa Adi, but at least he might have felt the pinch of it. Or even he might have said this to the Lord, "Oh Lord, please take away this person from me, may he not trouble me." Even this prayer also is a reaction from the standpoint of Lord. The one who established in Paramatma himself, and the one who is seeing Paramatma everywhere, to him, himself is not there as Dehindriya Manabuddhi. The person in front also is not taken as Jiva. Therefore, his words are neither heard, nor there is a feeling of reaction from within. Therefore, other than Brahmagnani, all else react one way or the other. In that reaction, the highest reaction of the highest sadhu is, "Hey Bhagavan, iske buddhi ko ठीक करो, प्रार्थना कर." That also is reaction from the Lord's standpoint. When he said this prayer, that means he said no, he accepted that person's badness. But in the Brahmagnani's Drushti, there's nobody like that. There's nothing in the world, good or bad, or scolding, or you have to improve him, or take action, or react. Kuch hota hi nahi is Brahmagnani. Anyway, that topic is too detailed. We will not go into that. Bhagavan is fully nodding his head and agreeing to those words. There's no such a great sadhu who, when is troubled by the words of the bad people, that he could control himself without reacting. Parhaspatya savai na atra sadurvai. Who is he? Durjana iritai duruktai bhinnam atmanam. Means by the words spoken by others, the one whose heart is broken, yaha samadhatum ishvaraha. The one who could fully balance himself without reacting outside or inside, such a sadhu is very, very rare. In one of the occasions we discussed, if you remember, the 4 types of responses to the happenings of the world around us, about us. One is the worst one, reacting outside, reacting inside. Second one is what? Second worst one is reacting inside, not reacting outside. Third is what? Reacting outside according to dharma, but not reacting inside. Fourth one is no reaction outside, no reaction inside. This is how, in 4 ways, we can respond to the world. Whatever people come, whatever the troubles come, whatever the temptations come, whatever it may be, a char hote. And the 4th one is the ultimate, neither reacting inside nor reacting outside. He is called as a Maha in one of the mantras and shloka. Vikara heto sati vikriyante yesha yamsa chetamsi te eva dhiraha. They are the dhira purushas who, when every reason for his mind to get vikara is presented, yet neither his mind nor his senses got vikara yukta or disturbed, he is called a dhira purusha. One of the beautiful shlokas in our Subhashitas. Te eva dhiraha. Wow, beautiful it is. So Bhagavan is agreeing that there is nobody who can. See, Barhaspatya savai na atra sadurvai durjaneri tahi duruktai vinamatma ya samadhu ishvara. Now, after agreeing to what Uddhava said, Bhagavan himself is adding, In one sloka, true, the pain inflicted by others is so unbearable. Is it not? And the pain becomes more painful with even small also when we start becoming more and more purified, more and more sensitive. Others have told, therefore, दोनों का चुकता चल रहा है. But when I myself am not doing anything bad and absolutely pure, at that time, even small little dukkha given by others. But why? That question adds pain to the already existing pain. ये हो क्यों रहा है? कैसा हो रहा है? मैं किसी को दुखी तो किया ही नहीं मैं. क्यों मुझे ऐसा मिल रहे हैं दुख? उस समय का दर्द दुख तो इतना ज्यादा होता है. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल तो बिकम नास्तिक ओनली आफ्टर दैट. They start becoming bad like earlier. Only the few people understand that these are all the tests given by the Lord before finally putting a label on us that now he is deserving the Atma Jnana. Therefore, I am coming in the form of Guru and teaching him. कुछ लोगों को पता होता है कि भगवान ये सारे मुझे दे रहे हैं to rise above the upadhi. Why? Because all the action, reaction, sukha, dukkha are only at the upadhi level. I am beyond that. To push me into that experience, Bhagavan is using all these karke, only few understand. Every sukha in the world in the beginning comes to pull us to the level of upadhis. Later on, during the higher level of sadhanas, every dukkha comes us only to test us to see whether we have transcended upadhis or not. So पहले टेस्ट में फेल नहीं होना by becoming a victim to those temptation. बाद के टेस्ट में फेल नहीं होना by non-reaction. What to do? I am the self. That's the meaning of what you are studying in our morning Brahma Jnana Valimala and all of that. Asangoham, 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 punah punah, Sachidananda Rupoham, Ahameva Ahamavya, Nityoham, Niravadyoham, Nirakaraham, Achyutah, Sarvadhara Sarupoham, Ahameva Ahamadhyah. All that what is in a nutshell form Lord Bhagavan Adi Shankara gave has the roots in all these Shastras. Now, what Bhagavan gave says is so wonderful. Na tatha tapyate viddaha puman banai sumarmagaihi yatha tudanti marmastaha yasatam parusheshabaha. I tell you this shloka thoda आप सब ना sensitive बनकर ध्यान से सुनो. What he says I'll tell you. Therefore, what should we do? Let us discuss for a few minutes. That's it. He says, if somebody is hitting your body with a bhayankara weapons to the marmasthanas, so painful it would be. But the other pain is 1,000 times more than this. What is the other pain? The words of others which pierce our heart. Yaha marmasthana in the case of others infliction is our own heart. That goes for because the physical घाव भर जाता है वो after some days और मर जाएंगे. Both are easy solutions for the physical inflictions. When somebody hits me by the arrow, so I suffer and I die, or I suffer and get the medication, okay. But then the Parusha Vakya spoken by the people, it haunts me throughout the life. Is it not? Therefore, Bhagavan says, Yatha tudanti marmastaha asatam parusha ishavaha. The asat purushas, the arrow like the Vakya, parusha ishavaha. Parush se baat karne wale arrow. Parusha isha means the Vakya of the Parusha itself are the arrows. Parusha Vakya means humiliation, insult, scolding, like all those things which Bhagavan said in the earlier chapter in those 10-12 words. Is it not? और आगे भी आएगा. And this Maharaj, the Bhikshu, will go through all these things which Bhagavan said in the last few slokas of earlier chapter. Still he doesn't react. Therefore it is possible. Therefore you get inspired from him. That is why the Bhikshu Gita is taught to Uddhava. But here is what? Parusha Ishavaha. The words of insult, etc., the amount of pain which they inflict are so much then the arrows, etc., which will pierce our body. Now, in the arrow which pierces our body, you can add all the things. What are the things? The money is lost, the job is lost. Is it not? The people lost. All of them are the matter related one. All of them are symbolized as the arrow piercing our body. Then the words of humiliation piercing ourself by the negative people. In that you can add all the list of all the things. we underestimate others, we become sarcastic to them, we humiliate them, and we, out of jealousy, try to pull them down. The Parusha issue, the arrow of being Parusha, has in its own subset all these type of behaviors. And each of them trouble us every day, is it not? Body healthy, nobody is troubling my deha, but to my own mind. Each one is giving so much of infliction to. I suffer it. The moment the grandson says, Dada, tenko pata nahi hai, immediately we become so miserable. That is the Parusha issue of that fellow, does the tudanam to my heart. And at that time the thought comes कि इसीलिए मैंने मेरे बेटे को और इसके द्वारा इस नालायक को जन्म दिया. And it goes for long. So the disobedience of servants, it's a Parusha issue. The disobedience of children and grandchildren, and then the non-acceptance of the wife for any advice, the non-help done by the in-laws or outlaws. These are all the Parusha issue. And the boss scolding, even though I worked well, or subordinates insulting me, not following my orders. These are all. And the Mitra also doubting me. And the ones whom I have trusted, they are breaching or breaking that trust. And in that, using all words of sarcasm, words of abuse, words of insult. हमको दिन भर कितने मिल रहे हैं, हम कितना दुखी होते हैं. एंड लोग आजकल तो कोई वेट करते ही नहीं है. You don't see who is there in front and all. Immediately they speak out. Very rarely the people are controlling nowadays. First thing they say nowadays is, दादाजी या ससुर जी आपको नहीं पता. Straight away they say, आप नहीं जानते हो, आपको ये जानना चाहिए, आपको ऐसा करना नहीं चाहिए, आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो. What a Parusha issue it is. There were not earlier days ऐसा नहीं होता था. Even though they know that what father-in-law said is 100% wrong, they don't speak out. That was the dignity those days. That was the training that was given from the childhood. अब आजकल क्या ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं, बचपन से वो गधे को गधे से क्या बदतर बना रहे हैं. Neither teaching them humility, nor teaching respect, nor teaching tolerance, nor acceptance. I tell you, the children are destroyed by the parents. भगवान बचाओ बच्चों को अपने माता पिता दादा दादी से. They are allowed to grow like any animal, buffalo in the jungle, grazing everything. I'm seeing it, therefore I'm telling. Now, training is not giving them good education, making them swim like a fish and going on the horse. I'm not talking about the disciplines. All of them in that Dehendriya Manabuddhiyam, purification, the control. Then how to manage oneself, and most importantly, how to behave respectfully as well as responsibly toward the world around. Where are we teaching? Well, तैयारी नहीं उन सुनने को. Some places, because they are associated with Mahatmas, 1 or 2 shloka they teach to children. Children को 2-3 श्लोक सिखाना बच्चों को is as good as teaching श्लोका to parrot. श्लोका नहीं, श्लोक के बाद में या द्वारा through श्लोका the values we have to teach. Values of acceptance, value of respect. Most importantly, throughout life, never utter even one word of hurting anybody, come what may. Maybe they are 100% wrong, and yet you tell in a very loving manner, don't use the language of abuse. Not even your looks also should be there to insult the other person. Even though he's 100% wrong, it's none of your business. This is what is the training we have to give. उतना ही कहाँ है, कहाँ available है. All the jivas who are born now as children are of absolute raw. Millions of gurus required with infinite amount of patience to treat these fellows, even if if they surrender, if they are available. Just like the patient-doctor relation. Every doctor knows this fellow will never follow my prescription, and he will say, "Doctor साहब आप जो भी कहोगे मैं follow करूँगा." Every doctor knows he will definitely go for second opinion. Therefore, doctor will never take him seriously. He will just take the bill, he will take the money, he will just tentatively prescribe, take this. Because that fellow is not responsive. Is it not happening in the world? No patient is honest to the doctor, loyal to the doctor. Therefore, doctors also very seldom, they know it. इनको पता ही नहीं होता पेशेंट को कि वो दोनों डॉक्टर मिले हुए हैं, और ये बताएंगे भी कि वो डॉक्टर है मेरे पास भी आए रे बाबा तू भी लूट ले. If you go to one doctor, you should tell him, sir, I will not go to any second doctor. If anything is, you only consult and give me the best treatment. I trust you. In the same way, for all the gurus, to treat even the jiva, they should be available, no? Now, I am asking you, your children, grandchildren, how many of them consulted any Shastra, the Guru, in the last 10 years? How many times? Asking them, what is the right way of living life? What is dignity of human being? What should be pursued by us? How we have to respond? पिछले 10 साल की बात मैं पूछ रहा हूँ 3650 दिनों में एंड योर आंसर वुड बी पुटिंग द हेड डाउन ओनली नौटंकी नहीं कह रहा हूँ मैं नॉट टू गिव मी द आंसर हाँ 2 बार गया था 3 बार गया था मैं ही खुद ले गया उसको ना ना आई एम टॉकिंग फ्रॉम हार्ट जेन्युइनली सिंसियर भगवान कृष्ण कह रहे त्रेता द्वापर युग की बात अब तो कली का पहले चरण का खत्म हो रहा है अभी अब कितने लोग ऐसे हैं now all this why we spoke today which will continue little tomorrow also is that people are so much suffering because of their own personal problems. Don't add to that by using the Purusha Padajala from your side. Then even in the mind also don't have any Katinyata. The world needs the soothing people with the words. If you cannot soothe with the words, at least in the mind, have the thoughts which soothe everyone. This is the need of the hour. And one of two, I know, I have never heard even one Parusha Vakya from you. From 20 years, I am talking to you. 2, 3, some of you, 1 or 2. I really appreciate you. Very great. Which I myself, I know it's so difficult to practice. या ये सारे गुस्सा और कहीं लेते होंगे मैंने नहीं पता जाते ही पत्नी पति बच्चों को इतना डांटा खामखा क्यों डांट रहे हो स्वामी जी को डांट नहीं पाया सारा गुस्सा तुम्हारे पे उतारो डोंट टेक इट एज एन आइडिया थैंक यू स्वामी जी टुवर्ड द एंड यू गिव सच ए गुड आइडिया बट गुड नॉन रिएक्शन थ्रू आउट लाइफ मेंटेन ये हमारे अच्छा ही हमको बचा रही है बचाएगी नहीं आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग फ्यूचर टेंस इन द प्रेजेंट otherwise you suffer more inside and they react more. This respect also would have not with so much of good words and all. This is the respect they give. If you had become harsh and strong, they would have become more inimical only. But दूसरे हमको शत्रु मित्र बनते तो secondary बात. Primary, how our minds are being controlled by us. We are sadhakas now. We are not here to win the world anymore, to impress the world anymore. We are only to win our inner world and impress the God. साधकों का लक्षण है ठीक है सर्वं कृष्णार्पणमोम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स अ गुड चैप्टर इट इज यू विल रियली एंजॉय